So guys, it's the following week on Friday. I went out and picked up the wagon from Narromine on Saturday. I spent the whole week away working. As much as Commodores seem lucrative, it's not a full-time job. I just do it part-time. Just on that, we generally ship out on Mondays and Fridays for all the parts on the websites and on the website and any inquiries that we get. So we'll do a video of a walk around of the wagon, some more on this car. We got some parts delivered, the DOD delete kit and the cam kit and a few pieces for that. So we'll do a compression test on that engine. In the meantime, I thought I'd throw together a video regarding the CV8, TUFCV8. So before I parted out the VKs and VLs, I used to do the Monaro stuff. So I bought that car, I think $7,500 back in 2019. It was an LS1 256, and we parted that out, the bonnet, the engine, the interior, a few bits and pieces, and then the car just sat as it was for a fair while. And coming up to Summernats, we thought, hell, Summernats 2019, 2020. So yeah, the video will be a timeline from when we first got it to now. When we first got it, it was just obviously the wrecked car. I don't know why we sat right off. It was only the driver's door and the passenger guard. But anyway, so it'll be a timeline from then till now. We parted the car out, sold the driveline, and then when we went to Summernats, we bought the E85 LS1 carby style manifold set up on it. We threw a heap of cars together. The box was shot. We bought another car for the box, and then we bought another Monaro, which wasn't a stat write-off, from Western Australia. Put all the pieces together and went to Summernats. Following that, we went to Candos. There was a slight fire at Candos, and then the car sat for a while. We decided to paint it, so it was all panel worked, body worked, and painted it in the new VF Spitfire green at the time. Once it was painted, we went to Autofest. There's a few videos of that, and then obviously COVID was around that time again, the second set of lockdowns, and the prices were going crazy. So I kind of got an offer on the driveline I couldn't refuse. So we pulled the driveline out of it, and then it sat for a long time without any driveline in it, brand new paint. And then we decided to put the 6.6 in it and go to Summernats last year. So that's sort of from the start to finish. The videos will be a bit mismatched, but basically as you watch it will be as it happened, and then we'll get to this point in time now, going to Summernats 2026, end of 25, and where we are there. So that car and this will be going to Summernats. So hope you guys enjoy it.
these out.
I tell you what, the old Monaro gets bent on fucking Skid Row, but you know you're pushing it fucking fine when you get that fucking close. Didn't even crack the fucking glass.
can get the dog.
Yeah, so that's where we ended up. The oil pump failed, I think it was New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day we were supposed to leave on the 3rd, I think, to go to Summonats. So we ended up just packing up. I was over it by that point. I think I'd spent 3 weeks straight on the whole thing. First time ever doing tubs, cutting the entire back out of the car like that and putting the rod shop. I'd put a 9-inch in before in my other car, but it was the first time I've ever done the tubs myself, so to speak. I did have someone help me weld it. That's probably the good welds you see, the bad welds. All the stitching and bird spatter, that's mine. Yeah, so the car didn't turn out too bad overall. We boxed the rails and welded up all the holes in the front that I'd cut the first time I put it together. It was pretty dodgy. Obviously did the firewall for Summonats and events, so the front and rear firewall, so there's no holes into the engine bay or from the fuel cell back to the car. Yeah, so that was it, and that's where we are now, except the engine's been rebuilt, well, new bearings and put back in. So if you made it this far, we threw a couple of videos in at the end. One was from when we were testing it way back when on a little 7x7 burnout pad. There was a couple of studs from the old shed that had been there. We put a pallet on there to, you know, warn me to stop from going and hitting the studs on the ground, but obviously that didn't work and I still hit them. And then there's a video from Candos after the burnout, after the fire. We'd gone through and patched it all back up together and got rid of all the fire extinguisher powder that was literally everywhere and is still in the car. yeah, so I caught it on fire, we fixed it, and then Blake got in the car, and yeah, ultimately I'd blown the gearbox, and it ended up with first and four neutrals in the 4L60, so it is just 1 minute of complete and utter limiter bash. We had the throttle cable come off at the end of the video, so it was just completely nothing after that. But yeah, too easy, guys.
Okay, it's got to be quiet for Blake.